Blake, Scoped, and Okis absolutely popped off in the FNCS semifinals. They ran through their heat, dominated it, and showed everyone with that last game that this heat was purely theirs. Everyone else was simply playing for second place. What did they do that was so special and allowed them to pop off? Well, that's what we're going to find out in this video. I hope you guys enjoy. If you do, make sure to like and subscribe. Let's get right to it. Off spawn was very easy for these guys. It was no surprise that they were just racking up the eliminations, getting the surge, and winning off spawn every single match. In the last game, Scoped took it upon himself to take down the opposing trio, and this really set them up not to have to worry about Storm Surge and also boost about 6 points per game. Honestly, not sure why that team continued to land there all 6 games. Whatever, they did. If I'm Scoped, I'm going to throw a little Selly on there too, if I'm going to be honest. Just, let them know who won. It's 6-0. Relax, Chief. This was the tail of the tape all off spawn. They had Lazy to themselves after they were able to eliminate their opponents. Every once in a while, the fight dragged out, and it kind of scuffed the trio. But eventually they found a way to push themselves through, and only once did they not fully eliminate the trio before they left Lazy Lake. Once off spawn was handled, this trio typically rotated the mountains to the west, down to Caddy, or up to the hills right above them. All of them are excellent overall terrain and positions. This helped them consistently put themselves in a place to win matches, and we saw this all day. They're going to play higher layers. They're going to look to play high ground, and you will see this later on when this trio is going to play the high ground position. But that all starts with getting off spawn quickly, getting loot, and then putting yourself in one of the better positions on the map. That's what these guys did, and it paid off for them big time. After the first 3 eliminations off spawn, this trio didn't actually take another fight until third zone. They lurked here on the edge of the map, used their builds, and essentially baited this team to walk right up to them and quickly secure the eliminations. It was a really nice play from them, and then not only going to give them extra materials, the refreshes, but they're going to secure a better shotgun and upgrade that chug cannon. Again, just wanted to point this out. What this trio does is establishes a strong position with hard mats in zone, then looks back, lurks, and waits for a team or a player to come into their builds, and then will just hold them on the edge of zone. That team that is getting held is going to be forced to make a move, and this is essentially bringing eliminations to yourself. This is how you have to play edge and really punish players for making these late rotates. Then, once fourth zone pulls, they're going to look to make a play for high ground. What they're going to do is essentially establish their position on 4th height and gamble that they're going to get 5th. Now, if you've been in this channel, if you've watched my streams, you know how big of a fan I am of playing this position. So, what is this and why does it matter? What you're going to do is you are playing one of the high ground positions in 4th zone. You play this with a chance or a hope of pulling 5th zone, and then if you do pull 5th zone, you've already established your high ground position. You're not going to as quickly get contested for it. You won't as easily get your high ground ripped from you, and you're going to be able to stay up on height and essentially save a ton of materials because you don't have to move when you pull zone and you're already on the high ground. The play doesn't come later. I really like these plays. I tend to do this myself, and you see a lot of players that like to play high ground, that like to play up above, gamble in these fourth zone high ground positions. I recommend you guys try it if you want to try to play height. It's a lot easier to establish yourself early than it is to do it much later when zones are moving or you have to pad onto height with less organization. As they approached endgame, they had several eliminations. They were holding high ground, and then 5th zone pulls. It doesn't exactly go their way, but it's close enough for them to have the option to want to play it. Then they're going to sit there, wait for these players to make this rotate, and Blake, Scoped, and Okis just destroy people out of the air. The 2 controller players pick up 3 total eliminations, beaming players out of the air on the rotate, and they almost accidentally continue to play high ground. It wasn't immediate that this trio continued to push into zone and reestablish height in zone. They waited, went for the eliminations, and then actually wound up finding themselves on high ground once again. It was a combination of the pressure and everyone, it's the last game, they're kind of nervous. Do you really want to hold height in 5th? So these guys already qualified, take full advantage of everyone else's nerves and position themselves right up top. Quick little sidebar, we see how they're shooting at the ramp above the pad. This is to stop the players from low padding. Pop one up in the air and get yourself a free elimination. These are the little things that you could do to pick up free eliminations in the end game. Then we see this trio once again established on 5th height. We're going to see 6th zone is going to pull right to them. Okis is going to crank back up, establish himself on the high ground, and then there's a team on opposite height that's looking to play the high ground. What they're going to do is continue to spray them, put pressure, make them know that they're being watched. You're not going to take this for free, and eventually that opposing trio is just going to give that up. They realize it's not worth it. Zone is already in the favor of Blake, Scoped, and Okis. They could lose a lot more than the trio already established on height could. Little do they know, these guys have already qualified, but either way, this is a smart play, putting pressure on the opposite height and not allowing them to ramp over you. And once again, it is time for these players just to beam everyone out of the air. It seems like Scoped and Okis just continue to get beams out of the air, and here we are is the 3rd of 3 chug cannons. So after that elimination, Blake, Okis, and Scoped all have chug cannons. Now they're on high ground. This is just too easy for them. Blake is going to lead their tarp. Scoped is going to sit on the backside, and Okis is going to chill in the middle. Okis essentially plays safety, so it's not like he's just sitting here doing nothing. He's actually waiting for any potential enemies to pad onto their head. He's looking around while his 2 teammates are spraying, looking for eliminations, and this is how you can safely hold height. We know that launch pads can be placed and jumped right up to high ground if you perfectly get it. Check out my Head of the Meta video if you need to find out how. But Okis playing safety, really like what I see. A lot of people will be like, oh, he's just chilling doing nothing. No, this actually has a ton of purpose. Alright, now, they've done all the hard work, and I'm not gonna lie, they just essentially go on to bully the rest of this lobby. Like, you could watch the rest of this because it's entertaining, but can I break this down and give you some amazing insights as to how they did this? No. Really, all they're gonna do is spray down. They have way too much AR ammo, and Okis, Scoped, gonna drop down at times, bully players on 2nd height, go for some pump shots. We see Scoped has that gold pump shotgun that's gonna put extra damage on people and really be a pain, and they just continue this through the next couple of zones. It's a wonderful, wonderful high ground play, especially when you have the mats, the ammo that they have, just to throw it all out. And they essentially have unlimited HP. When you have 3 chug cannons plus minis in your inventory for all 3 players, it's just not fair. These guys are going to get ticked away at, and typically what you can do is chip away at height. They're going to run out of materials, run out of HP, but when they have that many chug cannons, you're not going to be able to out-trade them. So your trades for looking for high ground are always going to be lost, and they're going to consistently be on the advantage, and then you're just going to get beamed and be the one that gets eliminated. So that's what these guys do, and it is, I shouldn't say the most impressive thing that I saw all weekend, but it was very well executed. Gotta give them credit for holding a clinical high ground play and popping off. Not everyone gets the amount of eliminations or anywhere near the amount of eliminations when they're on high ground. What these guys did was special as far as the elim part. Then they go on to look to close out this game. They're going layer by layer. Instead of simply just trying to hold high ground, they're going to start to be the aggro. They're going to start to be the one looking to close out this game and then force trios to fight down below. All this chaos allows them to chill up above, secure even more eliminations, and then instead of going for the hero play with one player dropping down trying to eliminate everyone, they drop down as a trio, clean this up. Beautiful teamwork, and it is so nice to see people do this on a regular basis. This is how you win a game. This is how you close out a game on height, and it is played perfectly. What we saw from this trio tells me they are ready to take on the grand finals. We have grands coming up this weekend, and I'm super excited to see exactly how it plays out, because I feel like there's so many more good teams this season than there was last season. I don't know, maybe I'm just making stuff up, but I am really excited. Either way, I'm going to be streaming a watch party, aka casting the end games and all that good stuff on my channel at twitch.tv/somebody'sgun. Make sure to go check that out. Check out my other socials, Somebody's Gun, everywhere if you want. TikTok, Twitch, also have a Discord. Check down below. All those sweet links are there. I want to thank you guys for watching. Again, always appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support. I'm Somebody's Gun, and see you guys next time.